Hi, this is Mrs. Hobbs, and I am doing a tutorial on the Think Math pages from Unit 6, Day 16 through 20 in your work packet. The goal this week is to have an answer or a whole number and to split the whole number into different parts or combinations to make different equations. You will need scissors, a pencil, and some glue for this activity. When you're done, you might want to color the pictures. Let's read what the answer is. The answer is 14 cats. What is the problem? So we're going to be using combinations of 14. It says to provide at least 8 equations to show 14, and we're going to use these pieces down here to do that. So I want to start by cutting out 14 pieces. Now that I have my pieces cut out, I want to double check that I have the whole number that I'm starting with, 14. So I made a 10 frame with mine plus 4 more, which I know is 14. So the easiest way to do this is just put them in a pile and split them into 2 different groups, and then add your 2 groups together. So now that I took my 14, I split it into a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on my first equation, I can write 8, and then my other group has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 plus 6 equals 14. I can push them back together again and split them apart to make a different combination. So I want to try to have numbers other than 8 and 16. So maybe I do that. And then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 1, 2, 3 equals 14. It is okay if students recognize the commutative property and realize that if I have, I'm going to go back to 11 and 3. If I have 11 and 3, I can turn it around and make 3 plus 11. So that's okay too. And the goal is to try to get 8 different equations without repeating the same equation. If students are having a difficult time coming up with groups and need more of a system, you could start by eliminating 1. And then you can count this larger group plus 1. So that could be 13 plus 1 is 14. Then put them back together, take 2 apart. And then put them back together, take 3 apart. And sometimes that makes a little bit more sense to kids than just randomly pulling them apart each time. So keep going until you get 8 equations. Now that I have my 8 equations, I can make a story problem. So I can go back and pick one of my favorite equations up here, and I can take the pieces and build it into 2 groups. And then I'm going to write a story about these cats that match my equation. I chose to use the equation 6 plus 8 for my story problem. So I decided to separate my cats into color groups, and this is where I decided to use my colors. I made 6 orange cats and 8 gray cats. If you don't want to use colors, you could draw a line to separate your groups, or you could put a circle around your 2 groups. And now I am going to tell a story, and then finally I will write that story. So I'm going to start by talking about who is in my first group. What do they look like, or what are they doing? So I could say, 6 orange cats went hunting in the field. Then say a sentence for your second group. Tell who they are and how many they are. I would say 8 gray cats were also hunting in the field. So then my final sentence is I want to explain that I am bringing these 2 groups together to add. So I could say something like, how many cats were hunting in the field? And I'd put a question mark at the end. So when you write this, you could write it on the back of this paper, or you could write it on a separate piece of writing paper. And here's what I wrote. 6 orange cats were hunting, period. 8 gray cats were hunting, period. And here's my question. How many cats were hunting in all, with a question mark? And if you want, you can write your answer, which was the number we started with, 14 cats. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If you have any questions, ask your teacher.